Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome into the Lindsay Beckham Show. I hope you all had a great Easter. I hope you got to relax and spend some time with your family and get a much needed restful break as you remember why we celebrate Easter and what the reason behind the Easter holiday truly is. We are live in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios on this Monday afternoon, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. We are joined by Mr. Blake Bartlam. Good afternoon, Blake.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me on again.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all loved him when he was on with me a few weeks ago. And as I've mentioned before, he's only 17. You're still 17, right?
Yes, ma'am. Not till August.
Not till August does he turn. What day's your birthday?
August 6th.
August 6th. Okay, my oldest is August 3rd. So,
Okay,
so it was a
awesome.
good month to have
It
babies.
is, yeah.
So we are glad that Blake was able to stick around a little while and hang out with us on the Lindsay Beckham Show today. Blake, did you enjoy your Easter?
I did. Easter services, probably my second favorite behind midnight mass before Christmas Eve and everything. But it's just always wonderful. We got the incense and everything.
It's like the Super Bowl of Christianity.
It is. It really
like
is.
The day you get to just celebrate and go wild.
The build up to it from Good Friday service and then the death of Christ, and then Saturday you get at midnight you get the he comes back, and it's awesome. I love it. So
I know. I think Friday's always kind of a sad day.
It's always like cloudy outside. I always know
always because and you think about all hope being lost and death is won, and I always think about Mary.
Yeah,
because you're watching your child have to go through something so horrific, and as a mother, and I'm the mama bear, like the mama in me is just screaming out in pain for Mary after what she had to witness and watch her son go through. But 3 days later,
he was back.
And so for someone to be able to defeat death and to go through so much pain just so we might have a chance at life, it's that kind
remarkable.
That kind of love is hard to even understand. I feel like that's kind of love like only a parent could have.
Absolutely. And that's what God is. He's our Father.
Exactly. So yes, love Easter. It's one of my favorite times of the year. And then you get a break from school. At least they still acknowledge Easter as a holiday in the public schools.
I know. And I will say this, you say that, I was really refreshed to see really the Trump administration and almost our whole government acknowledge Easter and Christ yesterday. I don't think I'd ever seen an admin in my lifetime. Like almost every account had something explicitly related to the resurrection of Christ yesterday. And President Trump posted the thing that was a portrait of Jesus that someone had painted. I mean, that was so refreshing to me, is that we finally have a government that acknowledges Christ again.
It's funny because I thought about that at Christmas. Melania decorated the White House at home for the holidays, and just this very tradition inspired feel. And I thought about the Christmas video that was made in the White House during the previous administration, and just the trans dancers, scantily clad, dancing through the hallways of the White House. It was just an abomination. I felt of that sacred place in that building. And so to see Melania come in at Christmas and bring back tradition and values, and it was refreshing to see that.
It really was. It's such a breath of fresh air. And it just, to me, it shows that we put the right people in charge, and that they understand that they aren't the ones that are really, it's God that's in charge. And that if he will guide them, then they're going to do the right thing.
Well, speaking of what they put out yesterday, what did you think about the truth that President Trump?
Me personally, I think people appreciate how honest he is. And it's not someone, because a lot of people have said, and I understand where people are coming from, but maybe it's just me because I'm 17. I don't understand the world yet or whatever. But I really appreciate how honest he is about how he really feels. And I don't care that he's the president and saying this vulgar. I really don't care. I think probably a little too far. Okay, whatever. He's Donald Trump, though. This is exactly mean tweets is the thing that we've had for the last 10 years. And I think he's a lot more open and honest about how he feels about this stuff than someone who puts on the moral high ground, saying like, no one cares. Like, shut up, go do your job. And then so that's just how
we know when he's mad.
Exactly. And he should be. This is a country that tried to blow his head off, and he has been able to show this much restraint whenever he's dealing with them. Gave them every chance to have an off ramp, and here you're saying, look, sign this deal, otherwise we're going to send you back to the Stone Ages.
And we can respect someone and not agree with every single decision they make. If we agreed on 100% of everything, then it would be a very boring
Yeah,
world that we
yeah,
live in. There would be no opinions. I don't believe that any two people can agree 100% of the time
yeah,
on 100% of the issues. Now, that's definitely not something I would have said
yeah,
as acting president of the United States. And I think it was maybe a tad bit too far to go on social media, but like you said, it's kind of who he is and what we expect from him. And
yeah.
people knew who he was
And I think that's a
when
lot
they
more
voted on him.
genuine than what we've seen from presidents in the past. Every president has since, the last 47 years has said you need to deal with Iran, but he's the one that's actually done it.
And when you look at the last administration, like, did he write anything himself?
No.
Because he couldn't even form a sentence.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And that's what we were dealing with for the last 4 years. And that's part of the reason we're in the situation we're in now, where we have to go do something like this, where you have to threaten to blow up like everything there, is because they unfreed $16 billion in gosh, just lost the word. The sanctions, the sanction money. He unfreed $16 billion to them. How do you think they fund all the terrorism that they do? It's money like that. It's the 1.6 billion that Obama sent them. It's stuff like that that led us to where we are today, and that's why we're having to take the action we are. And that's why you have to be brash. That's why you have to be honest with them.
what do you think about the changes in administration recently? Do
I
you
think they've
think
been good. I think they've been really good. I think Pam Bondi was good. She would have been good in a more, I don't know what the position would be. She would have been good at like the associate attorney general, someone whoever could focus on like the crime part of it, because that's what the DOJ has been really good on. But they need someone in there who's like just a workhorse and who understands like the sort of political retribution that the American public wants from the Department of Justice. Going after Comey, Brennan, all the people. That's who the DOJ, and she's a horrible communicator.
I've said so many times, she's just not a likable person.
Yeah, she's
She
really not.
just, when you watch her in those Senate hearings, and when she's talking about the Dow, just completely off subject,
Yeah,
completely off base. And I think she had people wondering how she even landed in this role
yeah.
because she can't answer questions.
I think a more someone who's better at communicating and understanding what the DOJ needs to be doing around someone like Harmy Dillon or something like that. Someone who can actually communicate what they need to be doing, and
Mhm.
she was just horrible at it. And I think she has probably been the thing that has held the Trump administration back the most since he's gotten back, and it's sort of been a distraction from all the other stuff they're doing.
Yeah, so they have an interim in right now. Who do you think's gonna
I think it'll
be put
be
there?
Harmeet Dillon. I think Blanche will stay where he's at. I think Harmeet is good. I would probably prefer someone else, like honestly, like either Ken Paxton or even someone like, it doesn't even have to be an attorney. I don't think. Just let the actual attorneys do all the work and stuff. But if you want that figurehead, someone like Stephen Miller would be great. But I think it'll be Harmeet, and I think it'll be good. Blanche can say where he's at. I wish we had someone in there who would really go after some of these people who have tried to defraud the American people for the last, 10, 15, 20 years. But
And I think that's what Trump is wanting.
yeah,
It seems as you don't you don't cross Donald Trump and then get back in his good graces
no,
easily.
you don't.
That's something that is not easily done,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And then of course Christy Nolman, almost wonder if some of the news of her personal life
I think that
was being
was
was
sort of behind it, but the funniest thing to me was that the reason she got fired by Trump wasn't because of any of the stuff with ICE. It was her saying that he knew about the commercials or whatever. So,
right. I know.
but I think that was needed as well because she was just another. I like her. I think she did a great job in South Dakota, and I think she
I
was.
loved her when she was in South
And
Dakota,
I think she
and
was
I was
really
yeah.
good at what she did, but once again, a horrible communicator. And I think someone like Mark Wayne Mullen, who's been a senator in Oklahoma for the last, little bit or whatever, I think he's really good. He's a very likable,
Mhm.
figure whenever he's talking to you. He has his little bouncy ball that he bounces and everything. And he's a very good administrator. So I think he's gonna be able to do. And we've seen this. The numbers have been really good, from deportations to denying visas and stuff like that. They've been really good, but it's going to be a lot quieter and a lot smoother. So I think stuff like that, I think it's needed. And it's just like baseball. You don't necessarily have to fire someone or pull out a pitcher just because they're doing bad, but you understand you need this arm for tomorrow. You need this arm for the Sunday game.
Mhm.
And
You have to look at
exactly.
the long run, the way things are gonna play out in the end. So, like, you've been working with are you working with Merge Mississippi?
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
okay, so that's you and
I
Chris?
built the YouTube channel that we use for it now.
Okay, and y'all have over 30,000 followers over there.
Yes, ma'am.
It's pretty impressive.
Yes, ma'am.
Over there on your YouTube channel. So I saw you guys at the big debate, the big school choice debate. Unfortunately, there weren't as big of a turnout as I would have liked, but there were lots of events going on that night,
there
and I know
was.
the live stream did really
It did.
well. And you were back there manning the cameras. So, what did you think of the big debate, the school choice debate that y'all
I
held?
thought it went really well. I think the questions were like sort of skewed towards y'all's side, but I think the issue is skewed towards y'all's side, right? Like they try to bring up the funding and the resources and stuff like that, but y'all shot that down at every turn. And God bless that woman's heart, Nancy Loon, whenever she said that the beauty of capitalism is that it treats everyone equal. It's just like, what are you talking about?
I mean, it makes no sense.
And it really put into perspective that I don't necessarily think they're dealing with the reality of the situation in Mississippi. And I think y'all showcase this is what we can do, and let's try to implement it the best way that we can, and we can always, change whatever we need to.
Right. And I don't know if it was Russ or Gerard who made the comment, if a house is burning and there's 10 kids inside, you can't get to all of them, but you can save 5. Are you just going to throw your hands up and say, no, we're not going to save any of them?
Yeah.
Who would do that?
Exactly.
Of course, you're going to get in there and save who you can, because it's what you can do. And I think that's the way they want to look at school choice is, let's look at the Delta. Let's look at the kids who don't even have a good school anywhere near them. What are we going to do for them? Well, nobody said we're going to quit working,
exactly,
or stop trying to make things better in every single place across the state.
Exactly.
But let's save the ones we can.
Exactly. And I think that's sort of what they were missing on, is that I think the idea of school choice, in my opinion, at least from the perspective that I look at it as a student, is that school choice has always been a thing where it encourages the free market so that the public schools have to get better and they can't just keep doing what they're doing because parents have the other option. So I think it'll really show that despite, whatever the counties in the Delta are that don't have a private school, even though there's some opening like Bayou Academy and stuff like that, they're doing really, really, really good. I think it'll show how desperate the parents are to get their kids a better education. And it's going to force the hand of the public schools to finally get better, to have better teachers, to allow them to teach how they are able to teach so that they can educate the kids the best they can. And I think that's what it'll show. And like, I can't remember, I think all of y'all said it in some form or fashion. It's going to take time. It's not going to be instant. There's going to be kinks, but that's a lot better than keep doing what we've been doing. And if we can improve on something, let's do it. Stop being a follower and be a leader at the state that Mississippi can be.
And, the Mississippi Miracle is touted all the time, and we're talked to about how wonderful the strides that we've made are, and that true.
Yeah.
All of that is true. But all of that is also because of good Republican conservative policy that we had to fight for against some of these same people who are fighting us on school choice.
Yep.
And we see that it works. And I think, Tate Reeves should absolutely call a special session and really encourage these legislators to get on board, because he is going to be the one who'll be remembered for making this monumental change. And I think as soon as parents see after it is implemented that they actually have choice now.
Yeah. They do.
Then they're going to realize this was a great thing to
Absolutely.
do.
And I think and a lot of the concerns, I think, with as far as the money and the resources can be addressed with one thing in particular, and that's gutting a lot of the funding that we have bloated in our education system with admin. It is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Every year I've been at Northwest, I feel like we have added more and more and more teachers and admin and everything. It's just not necessary. It is just not necessary. And we're wasting so much money on it because I think the superintendent of someone or whatever makes more money than the governor does.
Oh yeah, several of them do.
Several of them. It's insane to think about. And that it's just not necessary. And I think if you want to fix those problems, let's start there instead of worrying about not being able to provide for the kids.
Absolutely. 1,000,000%. Well, we got to take a break, but we are joined here on the Lindsey Buckham Show today by Blake Bartlam, and we are discussing all things politics, local, state, national. I love getting his thoughts and opinions on these things because it's so refreshing, in my opinion, to see someone 17 years old, still in high school, who has skin in the game and who realizes that the decisions being made by government today affect his future tomorrow. So y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back here at WYAB 103.9, The Lindsey Buckham Show.
WYAB Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Hello, I'm John Ravenstein, third-generation owner of Juniker Jewelry Company. I've been here 50 years.
And I'm Corey Ravenstein, fourth-generation owner. I grew up here, literally.
Our great-uncle started Juniker Jewelry way back in 1944. And that simply means we've probably helped more Mississippi men pick out their engagement rings than anyone else.
Guys who are nervous.
Guys who've waited too long.
Guys who just want to get it right the first time.
That's what we do at Juniker Jewelry, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
No pressure, just straight answers. And the largest selection of loose diamonds, engagement ring styles, and wedding bands in the state.
Remember, you can't buy a better quality diamond at a lower price anywhere in Mississippi. That's the Juniker's money-back diamond guarantee.
Come find out why we're still here after 82 years.
And why she'll never say, you're late, if you've shopped at Juniker's.
Juniker Jewelry Company, 1485 Highland Colony Parkway in Madison, and JunikerJewelry.com, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
I'm speaking with Lee Bounds of Rapid Rate Mortgage. Why is Rita Jensen the type of real estate professional you are looking for?
As a mortgage professional, I look for making transactions easier, and Rita Jensen with Rematch Connection is a prime example of that. Her attention to detail, her strong communication skills really help us as a mortgage company make everything smooth. From start contract to close, she helps me.
RitaJensen.net.
Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to fit your budget. Stop by Pops Auto Sales today, where fair prices and superior service leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Or go to popsautosales.llc.com and browse our inventory and get pre-approved for zero-down financing with approved credit, with service contracts and warranties available. And guys, our truck inventory is one of the largest for any independent dealer, period. Pops Auto Sales, Highway 49 in Florence.
Tee it up for a great cause with the Madison Lions Club. Join us on Thursday, May 21st at the beautiful Whisper Lake Golf Club for our annual golf tournament. Grab your team and enjoy a fun, competitive day on the course with prizes for first, second, and third place. Sponsorship opportunities are available to showcase your business while supporting the community. Sign up today at madisonlionsclub.square.site. That's the Madison Lions Club Golf Tournament, Thursday, May 21st at Whisper Lake.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Serpent Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
Come together right now.
Welcome back into the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. This is the Lindsay Beckham Show. I am, of course, Lindsay Beckham. We are live here in Flora, Mississippi, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. And as always, you can find us at WIAB.com, the Mothership 1039 on your FM radio dial. We are joined today by Mr. Blake Bartlum of Merge, Mississippi. And you can call into the show, 601-879-0002, or text our text line, 601-879-4648. So, Blake, tell us all about what is Merge Mississippi? How does it start? How are things going? What's your focus? What's your mission? Tell us all the things.
So it was really it was really started after Charlie got assassinated. And Chris Tapia came in, and him and Mary Jo Perry and we all had a discussion and decided that we needed to have sort of a youth focus, like a coalition for the youth in the conservative coalition of Mississippi.
Mhm.
And that is what Merge was. It was a place to focus on the younger voter group, the younger demographic, and sort of help bridge that gap between the older generation and the young generation, merge it together, merge Mississippi. And so the core tenets of it was faith, family, and freedom, and that's what we ran with. And so that's what we talk about. Everything that we talk about, we do a podcast once a week on YouTube, and we post it on Facebook and everything. It is all centered around the Bible, and so every issue from school choice to school, all the stuff, it is all focused on what the Bible tells us to do. And so that's where it really got started. And the channel we're using was the channel that I made. Oh my gosh, 2023. Yeah, right after Trump got indicted the first time, I started it, and it grew from there.
And you
And
started
so,
about waving signs,
yeah,
right?
exactly. And oh my gosh, I watched every single one of his campaign speeches since July of 2023 and clipped it up and posted it on YouTube because the media wasn't reporting on it. And so I wanted people to actually see what Trump was actually saying. And I think it got 15 million views before the election. And so that just puts into perspective what you can do by doing something as simple as that.
It's just clipping up the campaign speeches
Exactly,
because
and
people weren't able to find that anywhere.
Exactly. And it showed people what he was actually like, and it wasn't a filter. It wasn't what the media was reporting on what he was saying. It was real, and people appreciated that. And by God's grace, it grew, and it allowed us to have this platform to immediately flip into Merge and gave us that good foundation that we can hopefully grow from here.
Well, I'm thankful for people like you who are coming in and building something for the youth, because I go to all these political events, to all these meetings, and my generation is nowhere to be seen. It is the older people, and I say, let me say that, I'm not calling anybody old, but it is people older than me.
Yeah.
And then we are seeing a rise in people your age want to step up and be involved, because I think you're realizing, hey, young people haven't been involved, and we don't like what we're seeing in the way our country is headed. And so I think it's so important that every age group stay invested into what's happening, because
100%.
it 100% affects you.
Yeah, it does. And I think that's really what we started to see. The young people are becoming more and more of not only like a vocal group, but a group that you need. I mean, we saw what the youth vote did for Trump in the 2024 election. It propelled him to victory.
I did. Charlie Kirk out there, the moms.
Exactly.
We had Trump with us for two summers in a row, and and I'm going to say this: I've not always been the biggest Trump fan. I haven't liked the way he has spoken about women in the past. I haven't liked some of the rhetoric that he uses, like saying anything about praising Allah. I understand where he was coming from, and it was out of anger and sarcastic, but I think sometimes his mouth gets a little bit ahead of him. But I will say this: he was with us 2 summers in a row, and he promised us he was going to do things. And when he got in that office for the second term, he didn't have to do those things he promised us, because he can't run again. He's term limited out after this. If he doesn't do it, there's no recourse.
Yeah.
But he's done
the
things he promised us.
He did. And I think a lot of people sort of forget that, is that this is someone who left his comfortable life of being a billionaire with a supermodel wife on his golf course, his own golf course, his many golf courses, right? Like, golly, just living the dream there. His beachfront property in Palm Beach, Florida. And he left that to go deliver for the American people. And I think that you don't have to agree with, no one agrees with everything that he does. But I think to ignore a lot of the stuff that he has done and the sacrifices that he's made when he didn't have to, I think is not only dishonest, I think it's disrespectful. And I thank you a lot for calling that out, is that he has done a lot of these things and a lot of things that he said he would do. And our nation is in a much better place than it would have been had he not been in office.
And I don't like to speak on the war. I mean, you know me, I'm education freedom, I'm parental rights, I'm vaccine mandates, completely against those things. And so that's kind of my niche area and where I focus on. And I can tell you anything about anything on those topics. But when we start talking about NATO and the relationships we have with other countries, I'm like so over my pay grade. So you have to, or you want to be able to trust your commander in chief and who's in charge, because you want to be able to know they're doing the right thing.
I think that's important, because all those issues that you just brought up, they're affected by everything else that goes on. You know, a
Mhm.
lot of the stuff to do with education, you know, comes from the freedom and how much control we give the parents, not only in education, but in their finances and everything like that. So it all stems together. And I think that's what people, I don't think it's connected with enough people yet that, you know, these things that we don't think affect our everyday lives do. You know, how much
Mhm.
has illegal immigration affected our daily lives, whether it's jobs, wages, housing, etc. You know, I think once people start to piece that together, we'll become this coalition like we were in 2024 again, and we'll really be able to get some more things done.
One thing I think has disappointed me greatly since Trump has taken office again is the infighting within our own party, and I guess that happens when you're in control, when you
Mhm.
control both chambers and the presidency, you start to see people turn on each other, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I really think I hate to use this word, but it's the only word I can use for it. I think the turning point for that was whenever Charlie got killed.
Yeah.
I think he was the one that really, and there's memes of this on the internet where it's like the Hoover Dam and holding back the giant floodwaters and then a town below, and it's like Charlie Kirk is the dam holding back, like just absolute just chaos in the
Mhm.
right in the discourse. And I think he was the one that really kept people focused and was able to be the big tent for the conservative movement on like what our message was. And I think that's exactly why they took him out, is because now you have all this infighting. You have the podcasters going one direction, you have the neocons going this direction, and then you have a lot of us in the middle who are like, I
I
don't
don't
like
know what
either
to do.
side of
Yeah.
this right now. I wish we could
Mhm.
just stay in the middle like we were. Um, and that's what their goal was, and unfortunately, it's succeeding.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great analysis of it. It does seem like a lot of that started with Charlie's death and the way people view Israel and
Yeah.
you've got your normal everyday people who are concerned with specific issues and then they're kind of like me and my head's just kind of
Yeah.
spinning like I don't know which direction to look in. I don't know who's telling the truth anymore.
Mhm.
And I hate feeling that way, but I also believe the government lied to us about going to the moon, so there's that.
I think the rocket is, like, supposedly going around the
Yeah, it's
moon
going
today.
around the moon this
Yeah.
afternoon, and I'm like, "Yay, we see it for the first time." I also think we are. They've been doing that on Mondays here lately. Welcome back into the Lindsay Beckham Show. We are live here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. Sorry for that abrupt break there. They have decided that it's always the lunch hour where they do these emergency broadcast testing tests, whatever you want to
I
call
guess we
these
better
things.
hope that the disasters happen during lunch. if they're
I
gonna
guess so.
come through.
Well, it's either that or they just have my name on so many hit lists by
Yeah.
now. They're like, let's stop her from talking as much as we possibly can. I mean, it could be either or, Blake. I'm not really sure. We are joined today by Blake Bartlam, and we were talking about how getting the younger generation involved is so important, and just them knowing that the decisions made today by local government, state government, national government, that affects our lives and our futures. And so one thing I want to talk about is this upcoming governor's race. Now, you're 17, but you've been involved for several years now.
Yes, ma'am.
And where are your thoughts? Where is your head? What do you want to see happen here in Mississippi?
I want a candidate, and I have a candidate in mind. But
I think I could guess your candidate.
I've been told to not endorse anybody on the radio. But
I won't say who I think you're going to be.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I know.
But I want a candidate who is finally going to make Mississippi a state that leads and not a state that follows. A candidate who understands that we can fix a lot of the problems we have very easily. And it starts by making our government smaller, making our less money go further, and making sure that Mississippi is finally a state that's not looked at and frowned upon when it comes to our government officials.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have, I think, I haven't seen a governor's race that sounds like it's going to be this contested. Now, I haven't been involved in politics for a long time. Probably 2017-ish is when I started to really start looking at things. And then, of course, 2020, 2021, when Moms for Liberty came into existence, that's when I was really like balls to the wall. Like, this is, I'm in. But I feel like there are a lot of names that we're seeing circulate. We've seen Andy Gibson already confirm that he's running Commissioner of Agriculture. Our state auditor, Shad White, I think he's pretty much confirmed it, not officially, but I think he plans, I believe, to run. And then we've got Philip Gunn, who's got a big announcement coming up. Michael Watson has a big announcement coming up this week. I think his is going to be geared more toward lieutenant governor, which I am fully supportive of. And I just think this is going to be a big election. Delbert Hosemann has, God forbid, has mentioned he plans to run. Oh,
I think he would be like Joe Biden. No offense to Biden, but I don't think
that was a good one, Blake. That was a good one.
I don't think he will. I don't think he'll make it 4 years in the governor's office. And then if Lynn Finch decides to run for, anyways.
So I've heard rumors circulating that she could be appointed to Supreme Court, and then possibly Sean Tindall appointed to her position, and God forbid that happen either. But I don't know. I have heard those rumors. I think those are rumors, obviously.
Pray that they stay rumors. But I think I think it'll really show where Mississippi's at. I think you have the establishment or the new generation.
And do you know who put out a post?
I think
Polo.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah. I saw that one.
Do you know who Polo is?
I don't know who it is, but
okay. Polo.
I saw the post though.
Polo is one of Clay's former compadres. They did radio together. Now Polo's in jail for, I think he and Clay have officially severed ties.
Yeah.
And he and Clay, I think, have a bitter relationship these days. But he's in jail for murdering some woman. He was seeing her other boyfriend, and then he represented himself in the trial. It was streamed live on he makes these posts from jail, but he made a really good post. I read it, and I think Miss Marie over in Oxford, Marie Thomas, shared it, and I read it, and I was like, what's Polo saying over there in jail today? But it was actually a decently written post, and it made a lot of really truly good points. It was talking about Shad and Andy being the grassroots candidates, and then you've got Philip Gunn, Delbert Hosemann, the establishment type candidates, which, by the way, they despise each other.
Yeah.
which is funny because every single speaker and governor that's over there with Delbert despises Delbert.
He hasn't made many friends.
He has not made many friends, but I think it's interesting to get the younger generations because there's so many names floating out there. There's Trent Kelly's names floated out there. Lynn, of course. There are a ton of different.
Yeah,
ton
but
of
I
different
think
names.
it'll really show where Mississippi's at and where the people are really at. I personally think whenever you look at who is behind like Andy's campaign, it starts to make me wonder really what's going on there.
They're having a tough time
fundraising. Yeah, and whenever you look at who's behind his fundraising, so okay. But I think it'll really show where Mississippi's at. But I think my top two would be Andy and Shad. But I can't say who, but that would be my top two because it's the more conservative, the more grassroots, the people who, and I think they've both done phenomenal jobs at the positions they're at right now. I think one would translate more to governor than the other. But I think that if those are our top two choices, Mississippi will be in a better place than it is right now.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think there are names that have been mentioned that I don't even know that I should even say on air at this point. But there's another person out there who I think could do a really great job if he chooses to run, and we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. But I think it's going to be really interesting. I'm like, give me my popcorn. I'm sitting over here. Like,
it's gonna
what's
be
going to
fun.
happen?
It's gonna be wild. So,
I think you're going to see the GOP kind of split in two different
and it'll really show how loyal are these people to what they've been fighting for. How much has the Mississippi GOP been compromised? You know what I mean? So it's gonna be really fun to see, and I think
you've got like the two Andy and Shad, like you said, and they're the more kind of grassroots Trump type conservatives. Of course, then you've got Delbert, who I feel is just fully establishment.
He is the rhino.
I see. I don't even like to call him a rhino because it's still got Republican in the name, and I'm like, he's no sort of a Republican in any way, shape, or form. But then there's this middle of the road, and where does MAGA fall in there? Who, like the MAGA Republicans in Mississippi? Where do they land? I'm gonna bet more with Andy and Chad.
I would second that.
The true.
Yeah.
I guess if you could call it's almost like a three-party system within the Republican Party.
I would agree. Yeah, because we sort of have I don't even know what their term is, like the Groypers, the America First crowd, and then you have MAGA, and then you have the establishment. And I think MAGA is obviously the predominant one. And so I think it'll be someone who falls more in the middle of these two than it will be someone who falls in the middle of MAGA and the establishment. I think it'll be someone who's MAGA and America First and stuff like that. And I really think that's where the people of Mississippi are, because the people of Mississippi are tired of inaction. That's what they're tired of. They're tired of all the people saying the stuff, but then whenever it comes time to actually get stuff done, they're nowhere to be found. And our legislator is done nothing. And how many times we have to have a special session just to get the budget through? You know what I mean? Like, why can't we deal with that? Why can't we get closed primaries? All the stuff that is wildly popular among the people. We're a red state, supposedly, right? And that's what the voters want. Our legislators have failed.
They think we are.
Yeah, but our legislators have failed to act on that. And they have a clear mandate from the people, but they've done nothing with it. And I think that's what people are tired of. They want to see action. So
absolutely. And I agree with that. We need action. You got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to do the things that you say you're going to do. Now, Blake, I wanted to get we're running low on time, but I wanted to get your opinion on this because you are 17. And that doesn't not give you an opinion on things, obviously, because you're young, but this is what we're seeing now as far as, and going back several sessions, I worked on the Walker-Montgomery Act, and this was about holding the social media platforms accountable when it comes to the content they are giving children or allowing children to see, and then what are their recourses when things happen. Last week, we saw two huge court cases. The first one in New Mexico, where their attorney general actually put together a committee who went out and made fake social media accounts as young teenage girls, and then once they were sexually exploited or they were being asked for things that
Yeah.
were sexual in nature. That was reported to Meta, and then it was documented their response or their no response, basically. And they won this court case with like a $375 million settlement. The second court case the next day came out of California, and it was more along of addiction, like social media using algorithms and scrollings to addict young people.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it should be parents in control of how much screen time their kids have, or do you think these social media platforms do owe parents a means or a way to keep their kids safe online?
I mean, the social media companies, I mean, you can go watch some of the people who have like become whistleblowers or have stepped away from these companies. It's absolutely designed to addict you. And there certainly needs to be some sort of regulation on that, I think. Obviously not like draconian and everything, but it shouldn't be, the algorithm shouldn't be designed that way. I mean, it should just be able to find, you're interested in this, here's this, but it shouldn't be designed to just lure you in and keep you in.
Keep you scrolling,
Exactly.
scrolling.
But absolutely, I think it, just as much as, we might be able to regulate that, the parents ultimately need to be I think they need to do better at controlling how much or how often their kids are. And I think that comes from how you raise them whenever they, come out the womb, right? How often do you let them go outside, limit their screen time? But ultimately, I think a lot of it comes from parents being able to also have like faith in their kids doing it responsibly, right? Like limit it whenever they're younger, but start to build that trust in them, because obviously everyone knows that, if you stick like a parental advisory sticker on an album, a kid's going to want to go get the album, right? Like they enjoy.
It's like, don't hit the red button. Well, I'm gonna now.
Now you want to hit exactly. I mean, that's how kids are, and I think we all understand that. So why not use that knowledge for better? So I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And Sean and I were talking about it. And he made a great point. It's like, of course, it's got to do more with the social media companies knowing that they have something that these consumers want, and then putting that in front of their faces. Because if it was watching paint dry, if that's what they were showing you, you wouldn't continue to scroll to sit there and watch paint dry.
Exactly.
You'd put it down and go do something else. And so when we are, and AI has a lot to do with this, taking the minds of people and manipulating them to continue to watch and scroll, doom scroll, I guess is what they call it these days. It grabs you, and so we are seeing people really truly win lawsuits.
And I think it's a good thing, but like I said, I think it comes from parents have to teach their kids how to do it responsibly, and more importantly, they need to teach their kids how to think, because schools aren't going to do that. And once you teach them how to think, they're going to be a lot less susceptible to stuff like that, and they're going to be a lot more independent, and they're going to be able to use it for the good resource that I think it was originally intended to be.
Madison County schools give their kindergartners iPads, and ever since post-COVID, this has been the new protocol, is you give them a screen in case you need to distance learn at some point. But I was so against this, and they finally stopped allowing them to bring their devices home, because then the kids would want to be on the device at home. I was in complete agreement at that. Well, now we're seeing schools start to limit cell phones, which I'm in complete agreement with. But then I stepped back for a second, Blake, and I thought, wait a minute. So now they're not bringing the device home, so I can't see what's on it. And now they're not allowed to have their phone. So if something's going on in class, they can't record it and show me or tell me. I'm like, wait a minute. Now I feel like I'm like completely like boxed out of what's happening in that classroom. And I don't like that either.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to be so careful.
Yeah.
Especially with
I
kids.
think with the phone thing, I mean, I think it's more like I think let the kid make the choice. If they don't want to learn in class, that's their choice. I don't think you should punish everybody that can do it responsibly. Like in half of my classes at school, and I'm not, obviously it doesn't work for everyone, but this is just me. I have 4.0, all that stuff, jazz, whatever. But I use my phone whenever I feel like I can, but I'm not like always like obsessively on it. If I know I need to pay attention, or if I know I have work to do, I'm not going to be on my phone. Or if I'm going to use it, I'm going to be listening to music or something just to let me focus a little bit better. So I think I think people need a lot more responsibility, and I think they need to stop being babysitted when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Or give the parents the
exactly.
control,
Yeah.
Well, we got to take our last break for the day. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here on WIB 103.9, The Lindsay Beckham Show, to wrap things up on this Monday afternoon. Stay tuned.
Served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Ream and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Hey, this is Ben Ingram from the Braves Radio Network. We're in commercial right now, so I want to let my sister take over and tell you about Hometown Property Group.
Thanks, Ben. This is Mary Claire Putman with Hometown Property Group. Whether you're buying or selling, we are committed to guiding you through your real estate transaction with integrity, exceptional service, and remarkable results. Madison County has been my home for 40 years. I'd love to help make it yours too.
That's Hometown Property Group. Give them a call at 601-853-6080.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repaired? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
The 19th Annual Township Jazz Festival is Saturday, April 11th in Ridgeland. 8 hours of live jazz, headlined by Grammy winner Nestor Torres. Also featuring the Tropic Owls from New Orleans, along with local favorites like the Vamps, Southern Comfort, the JSU Jazz Band, and much more. And admission still free. That's the Township Jazz Festival on Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland. Visit townshipjazzfestival.com.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
If you've had an accident, remember Clinton Body Shop. We work for you, not your insurance company. Don't be misled by someone telling you that you will have to pay more than your deductible. Our shops hold multiple certifications from the makers of today's vehicles. We are the longest running ICAR Gold Class certified repair facility in Mississippi. We know how to repair your vehicle, and we will work with your insurance company on your behalf. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
We are back here in the last few moments of the Lindsay Beckham Show on this Monday afternoon. We have been joined by Blake Bartlam. Thank you so much for staying in,
Thank
Blake.
you so much for letting me stay on.
Absolutely. So tell people where they can find you and how they can follow you.
Yeah, so at B Bartlam, so that's B and then BARTLAM on Twitter or X, and then Blake Bartlam, so BLAKE, and then BARTLAM on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah, that's the one.
And
so,
Merge
MS on YouTube.
And you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
go back and watch that school choice debate where I feel like we really kind of pounded
Y'all
the
did.
other
Y'all
side.
did. Y'all did. Absolutely. So
I mean, I'm a little partial over here, but
maybe.
But if you go back and listen to the arguments made by Nancy Loom of the Anti-Parents Campaign, I said I would never say the name of her organization without calling it the most anti-parent organization there is. You'll see why I am saying that.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, not a whole lot came out of this past legislative session,
I know.
but
I think that sort of puts it into perspective, the state of Mississippi politics right now. You can choose. Do you want more inaction or do you want action? You have that choice in 2027.
Again, lots of things that were controversial, hot topics being debated, but yet we just didn't see much come to fruition at the end of the legislative session, unfortunately. And again, maybe there will be a special session called. We'll see. But we shouldn't have to depend on that.
I agree.
We should be able to pay our lawmakers to go to Jackson for the legislative session each year and to be able to do the things that will help benefit Mississippi in the long run. And
absolutely,
I don't know that we saw that this past.
It shouldn't take that long to do some of the stuff that they try to do anyways.
No,
like close primaries, get it through committee, boom, get it on the floor, and then go. Like, what are we waiting on?
Right.
What are we waiting on?
No, the process to make a bill of law is difficult, and it should be. But I think in some scenarios, in some cases, in some laws, it shouldn't be hard to get it done. Not in a Republican conservative state, in the Bible Belt, like they like to call us. Sometimes I wonder if we truly are that. I don't know. Y'all go follow Blake, and he is here with us when he can be on Andrew Gosser Show and mine. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then.